Noong sinabi ng Make It Makati na tatanggalin na nila ang bike lane sa Ayala Avenue, nag-express ng galit, dismaya at lungkot ang madaming mobility advocates, siklista at active transport users. Nagkaroon ng isang mabilis na movement and in just 2 days, nakita ang isang impressive at impactful na protesta against the decision. Ang resulta, dinelay ang pagtanggal ng dedicated lanes at nagkaroon ng oras para mag-usap ang mga concerned individuals. Pag-usapan natin kung ano ang nangyari. This is Lester Babiera and you are listening to Tambike Session, an Anima podcast. In this episode, makakausap natin si Tina Batalla at Alisa Belda, ilan sa mga mobility advocates na nag-organize ng Make It Safer Makati, community rides, and solidarity walking. Pagkwentuhan natin kung paano to nabuo or ano ang mga nangyari. Hi Tina and Alisa, welcome to Tambike Session.
Yan, natuloy din.
Yun, oo nga eh. Hello, kamusta kayo?
Traffic.
Traffic, ayan.
2 oras galing QC hanggang dito sa bahay.
Ikaw, Alisa, kamusta ka?
Well, today nakapag-rest ako ng maayos. So, bumangon ako ng 1 p.m.
So, ikaw, Tina, nakapagpahinga ka na ba from organizing the Make It Safer Makati movement?
Oo naman.
Yeah,
pagod, pero
pagod na pagod.
There's always new energy to be found.
Yes.
Nararamdaman ko lang talaga sa dulo ng araw.
Adrenaline, ganon.
Grabe kasi yung energy ninyo eh. As in, sometimes hindi ako maka-keep up sa mga young mobility advocates. It's really inspiring and mas nakaka-push talaga. And obviously, may nangyayari because of that energy. To those who are unfamiliar, nagkaroon ng movement para ipaglaban yung mga protected bike lanes sa Ayala Avenue. Kasi they announced na tatanggalin na at i-convert ito sa mga sharrows or shared lanes with motorized vehicles. After that announcement, many things happened na nauwi sa pag-gather ng mga tao para ipaglaban yung mga bike lanes na yun. Kwento natin sa ating mga listeners, how did the community ride or protest start? And can you briefly tell us how it all happened? So anyone can answer.
Ako, nasa klase ako nito, tapos nakita ko yung announcement. Tapos, okay, si Kenabat, nag-ask kasi siya sa Facebook, parang, is anyone organizing for this before Feb 15, which is yung implementation ng sharrows?
Si Kenabante ay friend yun na cyclist at mobility advocate. Tapos?
And then, ayun, nakita ko yung comment ni Ken, tapos shinare ko sa aming friends. Tapos biglang, si Tina, ito, sabi niya, okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's do it, guys.
Parang gano'n na nga. Hindi, actually, meron kasi kaming group chat. Wala lang, from one day na bigla kaming nagsama. One group chat. It never stopped because we all have this common interest nga on urban development, mobility, transportation in general. And then, ayun, tama si Ali, sinend niya sa chat yung screenshot. Tapos ako parang, bakit nila gagawin to? As in, sobrang nagulantang ako. Parang, why? And then, it hit me na parang, wait, we can't not do anything about this kasi kaming group of friends, it affects us eh. Our friendship really bloomed and began in Makati, in the spaces of Makati, in the streets. And thinking about how these streets are going to be changed, parang wait, you can't sit down and not do anything about it. And actually, initial thought naman talaga in my mind was, siguro magsulat kami ng letter, ganun. May reklamo sa social media, which was something a lot of people actually started na on the morning of that announcement. And then, yun na nga, biglang nag-drop ng call si Ken, randomly. And then, in a flash, parang, si Ken kasi hindi pwede organize or anything. Si Cola may inaasikaso. Tapos si Ali, busy with school, may inaasikaso din at the time. Parang, basically parang nag-isip, ano pwede natin gawin? Ayun, biglang in a flash. Huminga ako ng malalim, sabi ko, sige, kakapalan ko na mukha ko. Tara, let's do this. Okay, Ali, quick call tayo ng gagawin natin. So bigla kami naglista, okay, gagawa tayo ng Viber group, iimbitahan natin yung mga tao, set up ng meeting, pag-usapan natin. Yun lang talaga nasa isip namin. Okay, 6:30 game, announce. And by the time we made the Viber group, nag-debate pa nga kami ng slight, Viber ba, Telegram? Sige na nga, Viber na lang, doon ako sanay.
Oo.
And then from that, ayun, share na to all. And then nagulatan lang kami na, oh my God, halos 100 ata ang nasa Viber group by 6:30 PM in just a few hours. And then, over 60 people lang nasa Zoom call at that night.
Para sa ating mga tagapakinig, so pagkatapos mag-usap ni Tina and Ali with their friends sa kanilang group chat about the bike lanes, they started to call other people who are interested to gather at manawagan na magstay yung dedicated lane sa Ayala Avenue. Bumuo sila ng Viber group at nagkaroon ng call for an open Zoom meeting. Ang daming sumali doon. I'm curious about that small group chat. Sino-sino kayo at paano nabuo yung friendship na to? This group chat na yung kayo muna, yung wala pang open call for other people. Like, paano kayo nagkakilala? Are you friends from college? Are you magkababata ba kayo sa...
Oh,
Give us
okay.
a brief background. Sino-sino kayo?
It's weird kasi we all know of each other from like different
In
so si
so many
Tina,
different
kilala,
ways.
oo, so many different ways. Parang biglaan na lang kami nagkakilala. Uy, kilala mo pala si Ken, kilala mo pala si Cola, si Earl, si Tina. So kami ni Tina, nagkilala kami from another organization before. Tapos, it's not mobility related at all. It's actually mga policy. Tapos si Earl naman, kilala ko from this program ng MOVAS 1. Parang we were learning about how to be young mobility leaders. Sa si Cola naman, batchmate ko in Ateneo Senior High. Si Ken, hindi namin siya kababata or like batchmate. But we constantly talk to him kasi he's also organizing for transport and mobility. So nakakausap namin siya. And then one day na lang, parang gusto namin magkita-kita lahat. So gumawa ako ng group chat. Sabi ko, ayan. So mag-set na tayo ng date. Magkita na tayo. So, kailan ba to? I think it was like last year ng September, I would say, or no, October. Yeah. Then, magbabike lang kami along sa Makati. Actually, very, very important sa akin ang Makati. Kasi, taga QC ako. So, pag pupunta ako Makati, I would take the MRT. Syempre, off-peak hours kasi para hindi rin ako sagabal sa ibang commuter. Tapos, kikitain ko sila sa Makati. Important sa akin yung Makati kasi meron sila ng protected bike lanes kasi less than 6 months pa lang ako nagko-commute in Metro Manila. Tapos, itong si Cola, si Earl, si Ken, si Tina, I think they learned how to ride the bike nung bata pa sila. So, important for me na protected ang bike lane kasi baguhan pa lang ako. Di pa ako, as in, from scratch ako natuto as an adult how to ride a bike. Hindi pa nga ako makapag-signal pag nag-group ride kami. Nahirapan ako mag-signal kasi kailangan one hand on the handlebar. So, lagi ako nasa gitna nilang lahat.
So, ayan. So, ang nagsimula ng yung original group chat na to ay ikaw, Ali, Tina, tapos there's Ken.
Actually, kaming apat lang. We just called ourselves suddenly the Bike Besties. Eme lang.
Bike Besties.
Oo. And then one day, we gathered together. Sabi ko,
Sino yan? Sino yan? Sino
ako,
mga Bike
si Ali,
Besties?
si Cola, si Earl. Kami lang yan.
Okay.
Tapos, ayun, kita-kita. And then one day, sabi ko, sa Makati tayo. Uy, I know Ken lives in the area. Let's invite him. And then he came. We spent the whole day, afternoon together, just talking about what we're passionate about, what our dreams are. And then, ayun, never na nanahimik yung group chat namin kasi si Ali, as her background and her advocacy, very passionate about housing, about mobility also, transportation. Si Earl, ayun, he worked on his thesis focused on transportation also, mostly on our jeepney drivers. Tapos si Cola, IE student sa UP, very passionate din about active transport, mobility. And ako naman, my background is on development and sociology. So, I was also interested in bike commuters for women and civic participation. And then there's Ken, who's a policy researcher. And all of these interests just came together. We constantly talk about it. So, unsurprisingly talaga on that day, it was really just a recipe for starting something. And happily, no?
Ganda.
Yeah, happily kasi, you know, the thing is, there were so many things that already happened leading up to this moment. I always tell people, you know, we don't deserve to be credited alone. All we did was just
Start.
continue something. Parang, alam mo yun, yung strike the iron while it's hot. Kasi ang dami ng small organizations, groups of friends that are already passionate about this. And in fact,
Mhm.
there was already a coalition, di ba? The Move as One coalition that already had the infrastructure, the groundwork, all the research over the past 2 years. And it took this moment that it enraged groups of people who are passionate about this issue to come together and finally do something about it.
You briefly mentioned why you put an effort in organizing this. Pero can you tell us more about it? Kasi hindi to madali at matrabaho to Like halimbawa, Ali is busy with her studies while Tina has a day job. Why did you decide to push through with organizing?
Alam mo, naniniwala kasi talaga ako na may mga tawag ang panahon. At pag tinatawag ka ng panahon, kailangan mong sumagot, kailangan mong tumugon. Wala kang choice. Kasi kailangan eh.
Mhm.
At yung mga bagay na hindi mo pinaglalaban, nawawala.
Mhm.
At hindi ko kayang ma-imagine na yung Makati, yung mga yung lugar na kinalakihan ko, mawawala yung mga daanan na nagbibigay ng pag-asa sa akin. Yung mga kalsadang to, it's not, for me, it's not, they're not just roads. And even for people, they're not just streets. These are ways towards the different places and spaces that give us life. We don't just
Mhm.
live in one area, diba? We don't just thrive in one space. Humans are mobile. Meron tayong pinupuntahang mga eskwelahan, opisina, kainan, inuman, kung saan tayo nagpapahinga. At para sa akin, pag nawala yung mga ganong daanan, nawawala rin yung access natin sa ibang mga espasyo ng syudad na nagbibigay sa atin buhay. So for me talaga,
Oo.
it's a calling. There's no other reason not to do it.
Mhm. Ikaw, Ali, you'd like to add more aside from saying na it's an important place for you, yung Makati.
To learn and get used to by commuting. So, sinabi ko nga, 'di ba, 6 months pa lang, less than 6 months pa lang ako nagbabike dito sa Metro Manila. Tapos nung December pa, sumemplang ako sa Muntinlupa. As in, I had to be pushed in a wheelchair, get shots and
Oh
stitches and
no.
everything. Pero thankfully, siya, holiday season. So, di naman naapektuhan yung studies ko. Pero yun nga, yung hospital bills, and sumemplang ako in an unfamiliar place with people that I met for the first time. So, biglang instant besties kami ng mga kasama ko doon kasi nakita nila ako sa hospital. You know, my parents haven't even seen me in a hospital. Like, this was the first time talaga na, okay, there's something really bad happened to me. And this is why I feel strongly about protected bike lanes and mga safe cycling infrastructure kasi mga tulad ko, for example, if nangyari yun sa akin in the middle of me studying, paano ako makapuntang school? Kasi nagko-commute lang ako papuntang school pero even after mga 2 weeks or a month after that accident, hirap pa din akong mag-navigate ng commute as in sa LRT station, di ako makaakyat ng maayos, kailangan ko mag-elevator, and may guilt that came with that kasi I felt like I was taking space away from who are with disability. And then
Mhm.
sorry, naiyak ako. Oh my gosh. Hindi ko alam bakit. And then yung Sunday bike ride was yung first ride back ko outside ng barangay ko. So thank you ulit sa mga sumama sa akin from QC to Makati. Tapos along EDSA pa kami nag-bike. Oh my gosh. Um,
Papunta sa protest,
Oo,
papunta sa
papunta sa
protest.
protest. So, imagine from that injury nung December, tas ngayong nung Sunday, yun yung as in bago from my injury agad. So grabe talaga, getting thrown into the fire agad, EDSA agad.
Mm.
And very thankful ako na this community, we really took out for each other. Kasi maybe that because no one else looks out for us. And
Yeah.
gusto ko lang din i-add from earlier kasi marami sa movement na nag-attribute na young people nagsimula ng protesta. Pero ang totoo, we owe this to the people who have been fighting this fight for a very, very long time. They set the stage for us. They created this safe space for us to feel confident enough to assert ourselves and take the lead.
Talaga namang very emotional yung mga gantong bagay kasi napaka-personal nitong laban na 'to. Kasi it's our space, it's our safety. Bukod sa mga sentimental things, buhay natin yung nakasalalay dito. And I agree that we should credit these developments to those advocates who were fighting even before pa for safer spaces. Balikan natin yung mga nangyari sa recent Ayala Bike Lanes news. February 10, a Friday, nag-announce yung Make It Makati na gagawin na nilang shadows ang mga bike lanes sa Ayala Avenue. Nag-react negatively yung public. Tapos, initial talks from your group started Friday night. Tama ba?
Yes.
And in a span of 2 days, after consulting, talking with different cyclists, different advocates, different commuters, nagkaroon ng first community ride ng isang protest. After that, napansin yung mobilizations at na-defer yung pagtanggal ng bike lanes to March 6. There were lots of media coverage. Madaming tao yung sumali sa cause. May mga commuters, car users, PWDs, teachers, healthcare workers, siklista, deliverymen, parents, mga Makatizens. Tapos, nag-organize ulit ng mga solidarity walks and community rides. With all of this that's been happening, ano yung takeaway ninyong dalawa? Lalo na na ang bilis-bilis ng mga pangyayari. Tapos nandito na tayo ngayon.
Okay, so speaking as both a commuter and a newbie na bike commuter, ang takeaway ko from this is, I realized it before, pero ngayon lang mas tumatak sa akin na lagi na lang tayong pinag-aaway. So, mga commuter, pati mga siklista, lagi na lang tayo yung forced to share or forced to
Adjust.
adjust in a very, very small space kahit na sabi nga SWS na 94% of Filipinos are commuters, they don't own cars. At saka nafe-feel ko rin kasi ito, I talked about the guilt about able-bodied naman ako pero nakikisiksik ako sa facilities for people who are less able-bodied than me. May ganong guilt din akong nararamdaman tuwing nagba-bimodal ako. Kasi kunento ko nga from QC to Makati to meet si Natina. May guilt pa rin there na parang I feel like I'm taking away someone else's space. Pero hindi dapat ganito ang feel ko. Dapat there should be enough accommodations for everyone para di tayo nag-aaway-away, di tayo nagbabanggaan. And I feel like that's something that we have to reevaluate in how we allocate space for both. Ikaw, Tina, what would you say?
That's always something that I've learned from Ali, no? That we should never shy away from taking up space. And we particularly speak from the perspective of women, middle class women. It's hard for straight men to understand where we're coming from. But this is something that we don't just feel as bike commuters, but with our gender. Um, it's hard for us to speak up, to take up space everywhere. So what we're doing here is a way for us to, take a step forward. But bouncing off of that, my takeaway from the things that have been happening so far is really the importance of harnessing the power of our emotions. Something that I have been managing the last few days talaga has been this surge of very complicated emotions from people. Starting from that day na in-announce yung pagtanggal ng protection sa bike lanes natin, dama ko yung galit, yung frustration, yung pain, at lalo na yung grief. And when we all felt that, and we came together, there was something magical happening because we allowed ourselves to talk about it. We shared with each other why we're feeling these things, why it matters to us, and we got to the core of these negative emotions, which is at the end of the day, a lot of love. It's a lot of love for life, for the people who matter to us, and the cities that we live in. And for me, it's important to know the power of those emotions because when we come together to understand it, to get to the core of it can be transformative. I
Mhm.
said we can turn it into hope, into gratitude, and into courage. Harnessing kasi is taking something, putting it together, and making something, putting a driving force with it. And so far, that's really the magic that I'm seeing. So it's not over, no? There's still a lot of work to be done. But we continue to gather together these various things that we're feeling, to hold space for it, and allow it to bind us, people in the community. And when we continue recognizing these emotions, these stories that are inside each of us, that's how we can connect with the broader community, the broader public that shares these struggles that we are going through.
Ako naman, yung takeaway ko, na-amaze ako sa lakas ng energy na nabibigay ng mga advocates, na ang lakas makapagbigay ng pag-asa na magkaroon tayo ng better roads. Before all of this, alam nyo, sobrang hopeless ako para sa state natin dito sa Metro Manila. Mga tipong parang gusto ko na pumunta sa ibang bansa, ganung level na yung frustration ko. Tapos, I met you guys dun sa Zoom, tapos dun sa Viber, tapos nalaman ko kung ano yung mga ginagawa nyo for the advocacy, yung enthusiasm, yung concrete actions na hindi lang puro ingay, puro reklamo, and then it hit me. Baka may pag-asa pa tayo. Ang galing lang kasi yung mga ginagawa natin, yung mga, all of this noise, all of this things that we do for the movement, napapakinggan tayo at patuloy na nagkakaroon ng dialogues. Yung takeaway ko, it's very, very inspiring. So, I'd like to take this opportunity din na magpasalamat sa inyo kasi you inspire me, di ba? You inspire many people and you inspire those people na nag-gather natin, strangers pa nga, di ba? Karamihan doon, di natin kakilala. So, ayun, salamat. And hopefully magpatuloy yung pagiging positive nitong laban natin. Hindi lang sa bike lanes ng Ayala kundi sa buong Pilipinas at hindi lang Metro Manila. So going back to Ayala bike lanes, 'di ba? Yung protest natin, yung call natin, parang nag-center siya sa dalawang message. Commuters din kami and make it safer Makati. Can you tell us more about these things? Bakit ano 'tong mga 'to? Ano yung commuters din kami na message and ano yung make it safer Makati?
Okay, so yung commuters din kami, it's derived from yung existing na hashtag na commuters naman. Tapos yung Make It Safer Makati. So yung nag-announce ng advisory is yung Make It Makati. So yun yung naging message and call. It was a quick response. So we want to communicate na ang mga siklista na nakikita nyo, hindi lang naman sila sa weekend. There are people who use it for actual mode of transport going to and from school. And habang ako, hindi ko pa siya talaga magawa fully kasi I still don't trust myself on navigating yung roads ng Metro Manila. Pero this allows me to see my friends, to hang out with them in another way. Yun, ikaw, Tina.
Yun. So, yung hashtag na make it safer Makati at commuters din kami. Alam mo yun, Lester, it went through a lot of iteration before we
Totoo,
got to
ang
that.
daming
O,
versions,
diba?
yes.
But ultimately, it's about, number one, public protection and road safety. We want to make sure na yung built environment natin, yung mga kalsada natin, it is safe and secure for the commuting public majority. Tayong karamihan, 94%. Diba? It's about safe, humane, inclusive public transportation. And gusto nating i-emphasize dito na like what Ali said earlier, it's not about cyclists versus commuters eh. We want to drive home the point na for sure, there are some cyclists who do it for recreation, but so many of us see it and use it as a legitimate mode of transportation. And a lot of countries in the
Correct.
world have already shown that it's possible. So commuters din kami. Commuters din tayo. 'Di ba? Ang connotation nun, meron tayong gustong puntahan at meron tayong inuuwian. At sa oras na yon, sa daanan yun, gusto lang natin maging buhay.
Correct, tama. Na makauwi ng ligtas sa ating mga pamilya.
Sa mga minamahal natin sa buhay. Tama.
And I think yung commuters din kami, it sparked from this impression na nabigay nung announcement na bakit pinagbabangga yung active transport users at public transport users? Na dapat priority kasi natin yung majority ng Pilipino. Sabi nga dun sa SWS survey, di ba? 94% ng Filipino sa Metro Manila ay walang sasakyan. Ang laki ng space ng kotse na na-occupy sa kalsada. Parang isa or dalawa, 3 tao lang yung laman. Tapos sila yung may malaking chunk of space. On that note, mabalik tayo dun sa movement. This movement, yung from concern, anger, sadness, yung sinasabi nga ni Tina kanina na all of these emotions na nabuo after that statement, nag-ignite siya ng hope, ng pag-asa. Okay, for you, what do you hope for as we move forward in this battle? Madami pa 'to, mahaba pa 'to. Yung unang announcement na ide-defer yung bike lanes, 'di ba? Hindi pa yan, wala pang kasiguraduhan na talagang mananatili. So, what are your hopes?
Para sa akin, gusto ko na, I just want my loved ones, my younger sister na to enjoy the city also as much as I can. Kasi hindi ko siya ma-convince na mag-bike. And I can't blame her. And, meron ding guilt for me or responsibility, I would say, na if merong ma-inspire na mag-bike commute from me na, I learned how to bike in my 20s. Tsaka, I always say na it's never too late, if I can do it, you can do it too. Pero I feel this sort of responsibility na parang, we know kasi what it entails, diba? Like bike commuting, we know that it's really rough out there. And my hope is for all of us to be able to move from siguro point A to point B without thinking about if we're going to get home safe or not. Because before, nung commuter lang ako, PUV commuter, ang tanging iniisip ko lang is, okay, ano yung ruta na pinaka-onting lakad? O kaya, ano yung pinaka-mabilis? Pero ngayon na natuto akong mag-bike commute, nasama sa considerations ko na ano ang pinaka-safe na daan para sa akin. Kahit na mas malayo siya, kahit na out of way talaga siya, basta alam kong safe siya, I would rather take it than the most direct way. And ayun, syempre fineel ko muna yung concern, anger, and sadness. Alam niya ni Tina, galit na galit ako the past week. Pero nung dumating yung Make It Makati na advisory, dun ko lang na-realize na, okay, I have to convert these emotions into something actionable. Ayun nga, sometimes alam mo yung tawag ng panahon, kailangan mong lumabas and magprotesta. So,
Ikaw naman, Tina, what are your hopes as we move forward?
Siguro yung hopes ko moving forward are three things: process, output, and outcome. First is, of course, with the outcome that we want. The outcome that we want is to create a culture in the Philippines, in our cities, where we value quality of life in the way we design our streets, in transportation, in housing, in public spaces. Yun, that's the outcome that I want. That's what I hope for. Pinapahalagahan natin yung well-being ng tao, hindi ang pagkonsumo, diba? At paggastos. Second, in terms of output, syempre on a more concrete level, we want to see better public spaces. We want to have more efficient modes of transportation. More importantly, the kind that responds to the growing threats of the climate crisis. That's definitely something na mahalaga sa labang ito actually. Kailangan nating mag-decarbonize at mag-shift sa mga paraan na mas magiging mababa ang carbon footprint natin. So that definitely means creating better public transportation, which also accommodates better infrastructure for active transport. Something that is inclusive and equitable for all. But my deepest hope, and I know that this is something that will sustain everything that we've been doing, is for us to really harness this, to harness this collective effervescence that is going on. A collective effervescence, it's this concept by sociologist Emile Durkheim. It refers to the moments in societal life where a group of individuals, the context is more in religion, where a group of individuals feel this energy, this harmony when people are engaged in a shared purpose. And I think that's what's really driving us right now. It's what's bringing us together as a growing community. Na kailangan nating talagang intindihin at palakasin ang enerhiyang ito, because this is what's pushing us to activate our humanity, especially as citizens. Kita mo, nag-i-engage tayo sa hindi lang sa personal na problema, pero sa mga pampublikong problema. We are engaging our public institutions and our private institutions to collectively address the problems that we are all facing today, because it's going to affect our tomorrow. That is my hope for this current movement.
Ang ganda, ang ganda. Ako naman, yung hope ko as we move forward ay sana matupad yung pinaglalaban natin na equitable road at ligtas na kalsada para sa lahat. At sana magpatuloy yung pag-asa na na-spark mula sa Make It Safer Makati movement. Galing sa madaming taong nagkakaisa para sa iisang hangarin. Andyan yung mga commuters, active transport users, drivers, delivery bikers, siklista, at iba pa. Alam nyo, ang ganda nun na yung pag-asa na nabuo na to, nagsimula lang din to sa pag-asa na pinakita sa atin ng mga advocates na nauna sa atin. Mula sa isang simpleng group chat, papunta sa dialogues with decision makers at mobilization ng publiko, nakakapagbigay talaga ng pag-asa. Mahaba pa yung laban na to. Wala pang kasiguraduhan na mananatili ang mga protected bike lane sa Ayala Avenue. Pero tuloy pa rin tayo sa pakikipag-usap at pagpapahayag ng mga gusto natin para sa kaligtasan ng lahat. Tina and Ali, maraming salamat sa pagsama sa akin dito sa episode na to. I'm so inspired. Maraming salamat for starting this movement. Sa ating mga listeners, sana na-inspire din kayo at sana kasama namin kayo sa pinaglalaban naming ligtas na kalsada para sa lahat. Maraming salamat ulit at magkwentuhan ulit tayo sa susunod na episode ng Tambike Session.